Fishing in Florida. Something for every fisherman. Fishing in Florida is an angler's paradise, offering a wide variety of freshwater and saltwater opportunities. Whether you're after largemouth bass in the lakes, tarpon in the flats, or deep-sea giants in the Gulf and Atlantic, Florida has something for every fisherman. Freshwater fishing. Largemouth bass. Florida is home to some of the best bass fishing in the country. Top spots include Lake Okeechobee, a world-famous bass lake; Stick Marsh, known for its trophy bass; Rodman Reservoir, a hidden gem for big bass; Harris Chain of Lakes, great for both numbers and size; Peacock bass, a colorful, hard-fighting species found mainly in South Florida, particularly around Miami's canals; Crappie, speckled perch, bluegill and catfish, common in lakes and rivers across the state, including the St. Johns River and Lake Kissimmee. Saltwater fishing. Inshore fishing. Popular for redfish, snook, trout, and tarpon in areas like Tampa Bay. Excellent for redfish and snook. Indian River Lagoon. Famous for big trout and redfish. Everglades National Park. A hotspot for tarpon and snook. Florida Keys. Legendary for bonefish, permit, and tarpon. Best times to fish. Spring and fall. Ideal for bass, inshore species, and offshore pelagics. Summer. Great for deep-sea fishing and nighttime inshore fishing, snook, tarpon. Winter. Good for sheepshead, speckled trout, and offshore bottom fishing. Fishing regulations and licenses. A Florida fishing license is required for most fishing, but there are exceptions for residents in specific situations. Saltwater and freshwater licenses are separate. Certain species have strict seasons and size limits, e.g., snook, red snapper. Catch and release is encouraged for species like tarpon and Goliath grouper. Top fishing events. Bassmaster Elite Series, Lake Okeechobee. Sailfish Tournaments, Stewart, Palm Beach. Kingfish Tournaments, West Coast and Panhandle. Tarpon Fishing Tournaments, Boca Grande, Florida Keys. Florida Fishing Overview. Florida is one of the best fishing destinations in the world, offering a wide variety of freshwater and saltwater fishing opportunities. Whether you're into bass fishing in lakes, inshore fishing along the coast, or deep-sea adventures in the Gulf of Mexico and the Atlantic Ocean, Florida has it all. Types of fishing in Florida. 1. Freshwater fishing. Largemouth bass. Florida is home to some of the best bass fishing lakes, including Lake Okeechobee, Rodman Reservoir, and the Kissimmee Chain of Lakes. Peacock bass. Primarily found in South Florida, these fish thrive in the canal systems of Miami and the Everglades. Crappie, bluegill, and catfish. Popular species in lakes, rivers, and reservoirs across the state. Types of fishing in Florida. 2. Saltwater inshore fishing. Redfish, snook, and sea trout. Common along the Gulf Coast, Tampa Bay, and Indian River Lagoon. Tarpon. Known for their acrobatic jumps, tarpon fishing is popular in the Florida Keys and Boca Grande. Flounder and sheepshead. Found near docks, bridges, and inshore structures. Types of fishing in Florida. 3. Offshore and deep-sea fishing. Mahi-Mahi, wahoo, and tuna. Targeted in the Gulf Stream off the Atlantic coast and near the Keys. Grouper and snapper. Bottom fishing in the Gulf of Mexico is excellent for these species. Sailfish and marlin. Florida is one of the best places for big game fishing, especially in Miami, the Keys, and Stewart, the sailfish capital of the world. Best fishing spots in Florida. Lake Okeechobee, best for largemouth bass. Florida Keys. Famous for tarpon, bonefish, and deep-sea species. Tampa Bay. A top spot for inshore species like redfish and snook. Destin, world's luckiest fishing village, great for deep-sea fishing in the Gulf of Mexico. Indian River Lagoon, home to trophy-sized redfish and snook. Fishing regulations and licenses. A Florida fishing license is required for both residents and non-residents, exceptions for kids under 16 and seniors 65 plus. Special regulations and bag limits apply to different species, so checking the Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation Commission (FWC) website is essential before heading out. Best places to find fish in Florida. Florida is a top-tier fishing destination with diverse habitats, from saltwater flats and deep-sea spots to freshwater lakes and rivers. Here are some of the best places to find fish in Florida. Saltwater fishing spots. 1. Florida Keys. Excellent for tarpon, bonefish, permit, and offshore species like mahi-mahi, tuna, and sailfish. 2. Tampa Bay. Great for redfish, snook, trout, and tarpon. 3. Destin, the world's luckiest fishing village, known for offshore fishing targeting grouper, snapper, amberjack, and marlin. Saltwater fishing spots. 4. St. Augustine. Offers inshore fishing for redfish, trout, and flounder, plus offshore action for kingfish and sailfish. 5. Boca Grande. Famous for its world-class tarpon fishing, particularly in late spring and early summer. 6. Sebastian Inlet, a hot spot for snook, redfish, and Spanish mackerel. 7. Isla Mirada, known as the sport fishing capital of the world, offering excellent backcountry and offshore fishing. Freshwater fishing spots. 1. Lake Okeechobee, one of the best bass fishing lakes in the country, known for trophy largemouth bass. 2. Rodman Reservoir, consistently produces trophy bass, with great vegetation and structure. 3. Harris Chain of Lakes, a prime location for bass tournaments, featuring largemouth bass and crappie. Freshwater fishing spots. 4. St. Johns River, offers a mix of bass, catfish, and panfish, with sections producing trophy-sized fish. 5. Lake Kissimmee, excellent for largemouth bass and speckled perch. 6. 10,000 Islands, Everglades, a mix of freshwater and saltwater fishing, with bass, snook, tarpon, and redfish. 7. Silver Glen Springs, Ocala National Forest, great for panfish, bass, and crystal clear water fishing. Gear and equipment to catch fish in Florida. Catching fish in Florida requires specific gear and equipment based on the species you're targeting and the type of water you're fishing in: freshwater, saltwater, inshore, offshore. Here's a breakdown. Basic gear for Florida fishing. Rod and reel combos. Inshore saltwater, redfish, snook, trout. Rod. 7 feet to 7 feet 6 inches medium to medium heavy fast action spinning rod. Reel. 2,500-4,000 size spinning reel. Line. 10 to 20 pounds braided line with a 20 to 30 pounds fluorocarbon leader. Basic gear for Florida fishing. Offshore, snapper, grouper, mahi, kingfish, tarpon, rod. 6 feet 6 inches to 7 feet heavy action rod. Reel. 5,000-8,000 size spinning or conventional reel. Line. 40 to 80 pounds braided line with a 50 to 100 pounds fluorocarbon leader. Freshwater, bass, crappie, peacock bass, rod. 6 feet 6 inches to 7 feet medium action spinning or baitcasting rod. Reel. 2,500-3,000 size spinning reel or bitecaster. Line. 10 to 15 pounds fluorocarbon or monofilament. Baits and lures. Live bait, saltwater, shrimp, pilchards, pinfish, mullet, crabs. Freshwater, shiners, worms, minnows. Artificial lures, topwater, spook junior, snook, redfish, frog lures, bass, soft plastics, paddle tails, jerkbaits on jig heads, saltwater and freshwater, hard baits. Rapala X-Rap, inshore and offshore. crankbaits, bass, jigs, bucktail jigs, tarpon, grouper, snapper, swim jigs, bass. Terminal tackle, hooks, circle hooks, saltwater, worm hooks, bass, sinkers, split shot for light rigs, egg sinkers for bottom fishing, swivels and leaders, fluorocarbon leader, 20 to 100 pounds, depending on species. Other essential gear, fishing license required for both freshwater and saltwater, cast net, for catching live bait, tackle box, storage for hooks, lures, and terminal tackle, pliers, for removing hooks and cutting line, fillet knife, for cleaning fish, polarized sunglasses, to see fish and structure underwater, fish finder, GPS, for offshore and deep water fishing. Ten of the top fishing cities in Florida. Florida is one of the best states for fishing, offering a variety of freshwater and saltwater fishing opportunities. Here are 10 of the top fishing cities in Florida. 1. Islamorada. Known as the sport fishing capital of the world, Islamorada is famous for its offshore and backcountry fishing. Target species: tarpon, bonefish, sailfish, mahi-mahi, snook. Two. Key West, a legendary fishing destination with access to deep-sea, reef, and flats fishing. Target species: marlin, tuna, wahoo, grouper, snapper. 3. Destin. Dubbed the world's luckiest fishing village, Destin has excellent deep-sea and inshore fishing. Target species: red snapper, amberjack, king mackerel, speckled trout. 4. Tampa Bay. Offers diverse fishing, from saltwater flats to deep-sea excursions. Target species: redfish, snook, tarpon, grouper. 5. Naples. A top spot for inshore and offshore fishing in southwest Florida. Target species: snook, tarpon, redfish, grouper. 6. St. Augustine. A historic city with great inshore and offshore fishing opportunities. Target species: flounder, redfish, black drum, cobia. 7. St. Petersburg. Known for its year-round fishing and easy access to Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico. Target species: tarpon, snook, redfish, mackerel. 8. Fort Lauderdale. Offers excellent offshore fishing with easy access to the Gulf Stream. Target species: sailfish, mahi-mahi, wahoo, snapper. 9. Panama City Beach. A Gulf Coast hotspot for deep-sea and pier fishing. Target species: red snapper, king mackerel, cobia. 10. Jacksonville. A prime spot for inshore, surf, and offshore fishing in northeast Florida. Target species: redfish, flounder, trout, black drum. Each of these cities provides unique fishing experiences, whether you're looking for big game offshore, inshore flats fishing, or deep-sea adventures. Thank you very much. Thank you so much for your support and kindness. I truly appreciate it and am grateful for everything. Your generosity means a lot. Fishing is a fun, exciting, and relaxing activity. Many people use fishing as a hobby or sport also. Subscribe, share, like, hit the notification bell.